Today we're going to plant a bare root fruit tree. I got Chad right over here. He's holding one fine all-in-one almond tree. Chad has already dug a hole right down here, adequately large enough to be able to hold that tree. The bare root almond was soaked for a couple of hours in a bucket of water to make sure that the roots are well hydrated. The next thing we're going to do is take a look at this tree and see what the condition of the roots are. Most of these look pretty good. There's one very strange root right here that's growing upward, and I think I'll remove that. Yeah, okay, so on inspection over here, I'm realizing that the usual thing. See this root here, the machine digging has gone ahead and has broken that root, and so there's no point in leaving that there. So we're going to cut that one off the tree. Sad but true. There we go, that one's gone. This one right here, the end of it is snapped again from machine digging. We're going to cut it clean so it's not jagged. Let's see here. Alright, this root, unfortunately, that's a good root. It's kind of weird, it's growing upward, but since we've removed some large ones, I do believe I'll leave that root in place. This one here is dehydrated, so I'm going to take that root off the tree. It's like that. This looks good. Inspect your roots. Okay, here's another one. See, this is broken right here. You can tell by the way it moves. Right there. We'll remove that. Okay. That looks pretty crummy right there on the end. That's all black and nasty. Yeah, that was damaged. See, look at this. Here's another one, split right in the center of the root. Machines that dig these things are brutal sometimes, so we're going to prune that. I also have a ragged end right here, and so this is the first thing. First, you soak your tree in some water for an hour or two. Don't do it any longer than overnight. Then go through and prune away any damaged struts. So, next thing we do is after we soak the tree, check the roots, and we've got a hole dug, we're going to take a stick and drive it right into the center of the hole or off to one side slightly will do. That's the next step, because we're going to take our tree now and we're going to tie it to the stick in the proper position. Alrighty, so now we have our stake in the center of the hole and Chad is positioning the tree in the hole. What we've done here is I'm looking along the bottom of the trunk, and at the base of the trunk down here we can see the mark from the soil line where it grew in the field. And so I'm placing this tree into the hole approximately where it grew when it was being grown by the farmer before they dug it out. Anywhere along this stem here actually will work. This is the graft of the tree right there. The graft is very important that we keep this above the soil along this stem is going to do. You can see the darkness in this area right here is approximately where that tree was buried originally. So we've tied it in place. So now we are hands-free and we're able to actually go ahead and move soil back into the hole around these tree roots and support them so they don't collapse like an umbrella closing. That's very important. So that's why we've tied the tree. So Chad will have two hands to begin to backfill the hole. The next thing we're going to do is apply a little bit of fertilizer. Put it over here into the soil pile, Chad. Right there is good. Yep, we're using a nice organic fertilizer here made of kelp. That's good. About a cup. About a cup is good. We're going to throw it into the soil pile, then take a shovel and stir the pile so that the soil, the compost, and the native earth is well mixed together. There we go, good enough. Now, hold on there, buddy. Get on down in there and use your fingers, all right, to make sure that you hold the roots up proper as you're pushing the soil down and around the roots, okay? So, yeah, you got it. That's it. Now just make sure that the roots don't collapse. See, sometimes these almond roots here are pretty stiff and they're not really in much danger, but some plants you'll find the roots are really supple, and if you just throw the soil inside the hole, you're going to push all the roots and close them up like an umbrella being put away, and that's not a good thing. You want to leave the roots in a nice natural formation, so if they begin to collapse, you can go ahead and kind of lift them up with a hand there, you know, and push soil down and in and around them. Make sure you don't leave any pockets. Again, that's the reason why you're going to use the stake first, is so that you can manipulate the soil. Okay, so now as you can see, Chad's made a nice basin down around the tree there that will hold water. The bottom of the basin is actually level with the surrounding soil, and there's a raised ridge we call a berm that's up and around it. So the tree is actually about level with the ground. We don't really have it in a hole, but we created this ring so we can actually hold some water in there. Now we're going to flood the tree so that we're able to actually settle the soil down around the roots. That's the important key issue here, is that the soil be settled and we don't have any air pockets. That ought to do it there, guy. Very good. Yeah, there we go. That should be enough water to help settle the soil down. It's going to take that a while to percolate in here because this is some pretty old, dense Fremont Hill clay. Next thing we're going to do is give the tree a bit of a pruning. The final step here on this whole process is too many branches on the tree. A lot of them are rather acute too. So this one here is a really tight angle. We're going to take that off. We'll take this one off over here too. So I'm starting off first by removing all the branches that are on a really tight angle to the trunk. This one here is also very steep. Now here we have too many in one place, and so I'm going to take a look and say, all right, this is a nice strong one right here. I'll save that. So I'm going to take this one off. I'm going to take this one off. I'm going to take this one off that are in close proximity to it. Then I'm going to look up the trunk, try to find one opposing this limb right here, which is good. And so we're going to save that one. I'll remove this one and this one since they're nearby it. This one also is going to go away. There we go. So we got one here, one there. It's another one on this side of the trunk that's not required because we already have one here. And so I'm trying to go up this trunk and leaving a few branches like an ascending spiral staircase. So we have them coming out of the tree opposing each other. This one here, pretty dehydrated on the end. I'm just going to cut that off because it's weak and crummy. And there, that should do it. Now we're finished planting a bare root fruit tree. We have the tree's been pruned up a little bit. We've taken off about so much of the wood here, which is a good idea. If we're doing an orchard cut, which is what a commercial farmer would do, we'd actually take every limb off the top of this thing and cut it off at about 2 feet above the ground. Since this is for a private homeowner, we're going to be a little lighter about it because people panic when they see their trees so heavily pruned. And that's how you plant bare root fruit trees.